Greetings, fellow cultists, and welcome back to Let's Play Underhand. And as you might be able to tell, I messed something up here. I played a game, I thought I was recording the whole thing, I wasn't. In that game, I summoned Yukari, and then realized that the whole thing wasn't recording. And so that was going to force me to play with Yukari's blessing again, so I just redid the tutorial. You can do that by going into settings and saying reset tutorial, so that now I can try for Yukari again, using those same blessings that I had before. Right, of course you didn't see what they were before, because that was in the game that didn't get recorded. So the requirements for Yukari, or the progression of events for that, is that you either spend... The first requirement is to obtain the egg that he's going to hatch from. You can either pay 3 money, or use 1 cultist to get it at the cost of 2 suspicions. So pay 1 cultist, gain 2 suspicion. That's stealing. Now notice you only start the round with 2 money, so you're likely to need to steal the egg rather than actually paying for the egg. Next, you need to assign a cultist to tend to the egg as it hatches. Then it hatches and needs 3 meals, 1 in each of 3 rounds. The first one requires 1 food or 1 prisoner, then 2 food or 2 prisoners, but you can't mix and match. And the last one is 4 food or 4 prisoners. So because of the heavy food requirement, I'm picking Windigo the Insatiable as a blessing. Alright, and then finally you need a relic to summon him, so that's why I have Goddess Beginnings. Jai I'm picking just because, since I want to replicate having just come off of Jai I assume I'm playing as if I need to pick that one. For Windigo, I have Windigo in there because of the requirement for the food, and it's Organ Harvest. That's what it's called. Organ Harvest lets me get up to 2 food every round, or the option for 2 food every round, which can help. And Kekujira. So if you pray for sun instead of praying for rain, you can get 2 food every round. Now, you don't necessarily want to do that, because it can be difficult to turn off the sun, and so then you risk getting flooded with resources. You could discard the remaining food that you need, you could discard your relic, and it can be a mess. So that's why I'm picking those 4. Ryebacks, I am not picking. Even though Necromancy can be really good, especially if we get Disease or Sacrifice in the mix. Still, I can use the Holiday Blessing to gain Cultist if I really, really need to. And Yukari doesn't really have much of a Cultist requirement on his own. So with that in mind, let's start playing. Fishing trip, I talked about the food requirement, so let's stay close to the shore and grab a fish. Rumors of Darkness? Nope. Organ Harvest? Not yet. Remember, the food requirement comes later, and we already have the 1 extra food. It's too much hassle. We probably shouldn't have gone for that extra food. We'll remain silent. Now notice, this is... Yacare and the Lutzi are the only deities who, if you don't proceed with the quest line, you can't proceed with the chain at all for the rest of the game. But we will remain silent. We will commit to Yukari instead of Lutzi. Undercover Cultist, not this time. I think it's our first time seeing that card, actually. Next time it comes up, I'll talk more about what it does. Steal the egg. Tax break. We'll probably be going for food later, but right now we'll just go with money. And kind of wish those 2 cards happened in the opposite order, so I could pay for the egg rather than dealing with a suspicion that I don't want. Keep the assets. Recruiting opportunity. This, I would argue, is the best card to get when you're trying to summon Yukari, because with kidnapping, you can get those prisoners that you can feed him for the meal. No, he only eats prisoners, he's not going to eat cultists. Okay, tax day, so we can offset tax day and tax break and just have them perfectly cancel each other out. Just needing to bear in mind that we will, when we need tax break, and we haven't seen tax break yet, well, bear in mind that we really shouldn't be going above 13 resources rather than 15. We can't completely ignore it. Import tea. Perhaps another time. Day job. Not today. Beginners, look, I'd say we could use some cultists, because I've got some stuff in mind for that. This weather is acceptable for now. Alright, because I redid the tutorial, it thinks it needs to explain to me how foresight works again. Assassination will be merciful for now. And take the milk. We still haven't seen the infestation card. That actually is a pretty significant one. Egg emergence, something is trying to get out. The infestation card gives you 3 options. Either pay 2 money and only lose 1 food. Okay, now let's hope we don't get tax break before tax day. Oh, there's a gamble. I could buy the shipment of tea, but then risk tax day making me take on 2 suspicion. Canceling it out. Yeah, I'm gonna say perhaps another time, because that can also force you to draw. Guys, we really don't want to discard our relic. Assassinations, yet. I've got plans for... I can use the undercover cultist card. Here's a thought to it. Maybe we want to just pray for rain to slim down a little. Yeah, I think I do. Tax day, here we go. Good thing I didn't buy the tea, or else I would be incurring more suspicion. No, I don't need money from here. I can get money from tax break. Yeah, I think I do want to reduce suspicion. It'll give me some options.
It's John Doe here again, bringing you the update with the forecast. An unexpected cold front has been sweeping through the region.
I don't need to go for money off of organ harvest, because I can get money off of tax. Okay, I am now being absolutely flooded with food.
I'm as disappointed as any of you to see the sun going, but well, at least the farmers should be happy.
For that, there's no way to have a holiday and reduce your resources. There are a couple of force draw cards. Okay, glad to see that card right now. Lets me reduce down to 13. But I don't want to risk discarding the relic. And I'm not seeing any ways to gain relics at all with the cards I have in the deck. So if I discard the relic, that's pretty much an auto loss, I think. Feed from our stores. Break to invest the money. Here we go. Assassination. Target a key witness. Goodbye, suspicion. Whew. That'll help slim down there. Okay. This is enough rain for now. We haven't seen recruiting opportunity yet, so I can get that back without trouble. Milkman delivery, take a 5th milk, or take a 5th food. Reduce suspicion, no need for that. Tasting the future, no need for that. Day job, no, we have enough money. And as you've noticed with this game, having too much of something is a problem. Do not take more than you will need, or you will risk activating greed. Okay, fine. Organ harvest that we don't need to do. This is actually... We're getting remarkably lucky this whole run. I should probably stitch together another game just showing all the difficulties that can show. I mean, aside from the trouble with Ryback, yeah, I'm gonna go for feeding them prisoners here. Just because I only have a way of getting one extra food here. I guess the other option would be to feed him food and then use recruiting opportunity to go for 2 more prisoners to feed Yukari 4 prisoners on the next round. But this way, I only need to recruit 1 more personnel. Okay, tax break so I can pay my taxes later. Recruit just the 1, because again, you don't want to risk greed. No need to handle the tea. Yeah, okay, beast is absolutely ravenous. Let it loose in the pantry. Alright, yeah, so now we just have to finish this deck and mill the deck one more time, and we'll have Yukari without any problem. They do say that, it says on the wiki for this game, that, oh, if you get infestation in the deck, you should just forfeit because you don't have a chance. No, that's not true. I should probably upload a video at some point, just play until I can get infestation in the deck when I'm summoning Yukari and show that it's not all that difficult. And you have to strategize around it, but you always have to strategize around stuff. Tax day, pay taxes. Tasting the future, nope. Tax break, so we can pay our next round of taxes. If there even is a next round of taxes, because starting now, we could summon Yacare with any draw. Holiday, nope. The organ harvest, nope. Yeah, so we're just going through it. Here we go, summon Yukari, and there we go. So now, before I talked about how awesome Yukari's blessings were, now I'll go into them in detail. So I'll start with Oomancy first, just as it's easier to explain. That is like a new and improved Perform Haruspicy, that one of Ryback's blessings. Here, the options are do nothing, pay no cost and gain foresight, as opposed to paying a food and gaining foresight, or pay 1 food and get foresight with discard. That lets you look at the next 3 cards and discard any of them that you want. They still end up in the deck, but only in the next round. You won't encounter them again in the coming round. So that can really come through in a pinch if you're worried about something in particular going wrong. And then there's Start a Farm. That card, oh my. So when you get Start a Farm, you pay 2 money, or you have the option to pay 2 money to start a farm. When you start a farm, you insert 3 harvest cards into the deck, and there are 4 random options for what a harvest card can be. The worst one, which has a 1/3 chance of happening, is Crop Failure, which does absolutely nothing. So again, worst option is to do nothing. Not a bad worst option. Next worst option, which also has a 1/3 chance of happening, is Autumn Comes Again. That gives you 3 options. One is Harvest the Crop, gain 1 food. One is Sell the Crop, gain 1 money. And the third is Re-sow the Crop. Insert another harvest card back into the deck for your next time going through the deck. Next option is, the next possibility has a 1 in 6 chance of happening, and is Bountiful Harvest. There, you can either harvest the food for harvest the crop for 3 food, sell it for 3 money, or re-sow for 2 harvest cards getting put back into the deck. And finally, there's Dark Harvest. You can either keep the hideous plant, which turns out to be a relic. You can get relics from that card. You can sell it for 4 money plus 1 suspicion because you're selling this thing in town. Or if you resow the magic plant, you get 4 harvest cards back into the deck. And crunching the numbers, it turns out that this means there's a 73-ish% chance of the farm going infinite. If you always choose to resow the crop, you have a 73% chance of growing an infinite farm, which means if you lose your relic, but you have, say, 20 harvest cards in the deck, odds are pretty good you'll get at least 1 relic back. Yeah, the average growth rate is 4 to 3. So in your final round, yeah, you can pretty easily get, if your farm's going into it, you can pretty easily get up to 20 harvest cards in the deck and be able to bail yourself out. So one strategy, if you're going back to the lower tiers after having unlocked Yukari, is just delay until start the farm and delay starting the god chain until you've already amassed like 30 harvest cards and just completely walk over the game after that. The problem with attempting that strategy here is that the only deity we have left to summon is Ulutsi, whose god event chain cannot be delayed. You can ignore it completely, but you can't delay it and then keep going afterward. Anyway, one more deity to summon. Hopefully I can do it in one more video, assuming I can remember to have the thing actually recording this time. With that, later, cultists.